I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And I'm probably gonna receive some criticism after this episode, but it's overall, talking on the discussion of, dating and stuff, and maybe, because my thing is this. If it would have been the other way around, where it's supposed to be the woman that impresses the guy and she's doing all these over the top things, putting me out on some crazy expensive date, whatever it is, overall doing over the top, stuff like that ain't gonna matter to me, and I guess that's just my own personal opinion, but at the end of the day, I shouldn't feel obligated that, I deserve that over the top, date, or I deserve this type of date, or I deserve this, because my thing is this: if you feel like that you deserve that, you have to go out and find that person. You have to match with that person. But you should not turn down the option of, if this person doesn't do the ideal date that I want, I should turn this person down. That type of stuff, I feel like that's what leads into a person having multiple relationships. Because, my thing is this. So you want somebody to take you out to a fancy restaurant when you're out on a date. You want them to have a fancy car. You want them to have all these nice and fancy things, and they have it. What if they abuse you? Some point in time down the relationship, you have to think about that. You have to think about all of the possibilities of what will happen if I meet this ideal person. Because, you read the books about it, you read the stories about it, you watch the movies about it, based on a true story or fictional, but it's if it's fictional, it's had to come from somewhere. So my thing is and that's just, more so just my thing is this: I don't mind, going over the top on any date. In fact, there has been times where I've been out on dates and I'm like, you sure you got it? Do you want me to? And they've told me no. And my thing is okay, well, I'm not going to be, because then they're going to think that I'm controlling. If the girl doesn't want me to pay for her, then I'm okay, well, I don't want her to think that I'm a control freak and be no, I'm paying. If I pay, I pay. If I don't, I don't. If she pays, she pays. Regardless, nobody should feel obligated that you deserve this, or you deserve that, or you deserve whatever. Because back to this, abusive thing, right? So you meet the guy, ideal date, all of that. Some point in time down the relationship, he feels like that he's obligated to some things. Now, you don't agree with these things. He gets mad, and now he punched you in the face. Now you're stuck in this abusive relationship, or now you gotta fight for your life. But either way, it's nobody wants that unless you're a weirdo. But nobody wants that. Nobody wants no abusive relationship. That's why I'm people, do not feel obligated that you need something when you're in the talking stage, the dating stage, the relationship stage, the marriage stage, or whenever. Sickness, health, any of that. Okay, do not feel obligated. Because my thing is this, and I feel like this will be the ideal relationship. I don't want her to go over the top for me, but at the same time, I don't want her to fall out of love with me. Does that make sense? I don't want her to buy me the craziest pair of Jordans of all time. If she were to go out and get me the cheapest pair of Jordans that she can find, she would just get me some low top ones or some mids. Like, not even the high tops, not the breads, not the bread 11s. She just seen a pair of Jordans and was like, I feel like that you would like these. I would appreciate that. Why? Because I'm not expecting her to go over the top for me. I don't want her to go over the top for me. Nobody should want that. You should not want whoever this random person is, because my thing is this. You put that in their head, right? You put that in their head that they're supposed to do all of these things. Now they're becoming a person that they never was in the first place. And then they're sitting there thinking like, well, dang, like, who am I now? Like, why am I, why am I this person? I don't like this person. I don't want to be this person, but I do like this girl. And my thing is, and if you want to make sacrifices, that is your life, that is your style and what you want to do. But you shouldn't have to sacrifice your mind, your soul, or anybody for this person's sake. My thing is this: if they don't accept you for who you are, then you got to move on. But if you are willing to make sacrifices for this person, then hey, do what you got to do. But at the same time, it's like when it gets to a point where you look in the mirror and you don't even recognize yourself, yeah, I think, and my thing is this, like, and I feel like with this pandemic, it did put a lot of people in a tough situation, but, I mean, I feel like that maybe in some situations it wasn't really all that tough, because, I mean, we still, like, people still manage, but, no, like, going back to, like, talking on that, it's like, this pandemic, I mean, there's a lot of, like, if you're expecting me to do something within the pandemic, I'm like, nah, fam, like, there was a whole pandemic going on. Like, you gotta understand, it's like not everybody. Okay, so, and this is what I honestly think, is that you're basing me off of a guy that you've seen or fantasized or whoever. You gotta realize, like, your fantasies are different from the reality. Like, my thing is, and this is overall, like, the ideal girl that I would want is just somebody that's supportive. Somebody that's like, I feel like that's like literally the one thing that everybody wants is just somebody that's supportive. Like, I'm not setting the bar high where I'm like, oh, she has to support me 24/7 every time she wake up, like every breath of air she takes, it's for me. That's going over the top. My thing is, if she ain't sharing every video that I work on or any other, projects or stuff that I'm working on, if she doesn't share that every single day, okay. If she's not commenting on everything that I post, okay. If she's not liking everything that I post, okay. That's just stuff I'm gonna have to deal with. But that's life. But the fantasy, it's like, yeah, it's like, obviously I want a girl that's like supporting everything that I do, all the channels that I make, the Twitch streams that I do, the podcast episodes that I do, the TikTok videos that I post, every platform that I am on. I want her to support all of that. I want her to be my number one follower. But that's a fantasy, and I gotta realize that you can't put all of that onto a person, because it's going to come to a point in time where they don't have time for themselves, because they're so caught up with, like, and I've been that person. I just finished being that person. And I think, yeah, everybody knows of that whole situation. But yeah, I finished being that person. And I was all like, that type of stuff is so time consuming. It is. It honestly is. So that's why I'm like, hey, yo, look, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, live that life. But the life that somebody else, that they want you to live, do not live that life under any circumstances whatsoever. You ain't got to be, my thing is, like, if a girl or a guy, whoever, they want you to be a rapper, be a country singer. If that's your dream, if that's your passion, be the best country singer that you can possibly be. Heavy metal singer, whatever, But just, my thing is this, be yourself. Do not lose yourself trying to be somebody else. If you want to change, that's your decision. You shouldn't have to change for somebody because of their, like I said, their fantasies and stuff. So, anyways, yeah, but I seen this post and somebody was like kind of talking on that, and I almost unfollowed them because I was like, but it's a friend of mine's. But I'm like, you must really not, know a lot of people. I'm like, you seem kind of like closed off in things. Like the times I have tried to really talk with them, it just didn't really seem like that there was a like a barrier, or there was a barrier. But Yeah, that's what I'm like. I think it's best like people. It's just I've always spoken on that. It's like you need to communicate, and I think it's like I feel like that's like the two keys in like a relationship. Like my thing is this: if you are in a relationship with somebody where they just set the standards very low for themselves, and you try to better them, but they want to overall like I guess like be a freeloader or a user or something. Like my thing is like if they're, putting the bar at themselves where it's like they don't have to ask you for nothing, but they still might be in a struggle. My thing is this: you're not obligated to help that person. You're not. You are at the end of the day, you are not. Okay? You can end that relationship, you can move on, whatever. But I feel like that is the one thing that keeps relationships alive, that keeps a relationship going, is by supporting that person. So, let's say for an example, man, woman, whoever, they got a business that they're behind, right? Let's say, fellas, you meet a girl and she wants to start a hair salon business, support it. I'm like, okay, if you want me to sit here and wear this weird looking wig for an odd amount of hours, can we at least do it in front of a TV or something? Like, I don't care what you got to do to the top of my head. Like, do what you need to do. But can I at least, like, just have some sort of, like, source of entertainment? Or at least, like, talk with me. But I can't have it where it's, like, being dead silence. Like, we gonna have to have, like, a conversation about something. I don't care what we talk about. We can talk about your personal life. We can talk about, how, like, your career or something. Like, okay, you want to talk about your hair salon career? Let's talk about it. But yeah, I'm like, overall, I'm still gonna be supportive. I'm still gonna be like, yeah, I'd support it and all of that, and do what I can. But then, and I feel like that's, if I want that relationship to keep going on, then it's like support, communication, all of that, So it's like if my thing is this, if I'm not going broke, and I feel like that's like one thing that person needs to know. It's like once you ain't got to that point where you're going broke trying to impress this person, where you're spending unreasonable amounts of money to impress that person, stop it. I've never been in that situation. I feel like every times that I've had, talk with the girl or, whatever, I feel like that, I've spent a reasonable amount of money. I overall was all like, dang, like I'm gonna be struggling, these next few weeks and stuff trying to, cause I ain't bought this girl a crazy gift. Never in my life, I never will in my life do no stuff like that. I'm all like, hey yo, if you want a binge, you better I'll get you a racing game, and you can buy a Benz on there. In fact, you can actually come over to my place. I'll download Forza Horizon 4 or whichever Forza you prefer playing, and I'll buy you a Benz on that game. If that's what you want to do. But if you're looking me in my eyes like, no, if you can't buy me a Benz, then this relationship is over. I'm like, oh, well, excuse me, as I'm lacing up my self-lacing shoes for my phone and walking clean out this relationship. Oh, trust me, I will. So I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, that I feel like that's not really, being like, that's like somebody that's like, if you are in a relationship with a person who's using you, then it's like, yeah, in that relationship and stuff. I've talked with people that they've said that they've been in relationships like that, and where a person is like has used them and then just cut ties with them. And I'm like, man, there was one time I remember somebody had told me that their significant other broke up with them, then tried to get back with them. And I think the last time they were talking to me about them, they were saying that they asked them for money. And I can't remember if they ever did pay them back, but I'm like, it's no. I would have cut that relationship off as soon as it had been like that back and forth stuff. I'm like, oh no, we ain't doing that. So, but yeah, it's like, it's stuff like that where I'm all like, yeah, don't use a person in a relationship. That's really, I feel like if anything, that's gonna be like karma heading your way when you then use somebody, and it's like they didn't even need to get used. Like they ain't did nothing to you to deserve that and stuff. So Yeah, don't use people either. But anyways, what a form of relationship advice that I can give you. But oh yeah, but back on like the supporting thing, and then like for the ladies supporting like the fellas, or whoever, whatever, you're supporting your significant other if they got something going on in their life. Like let's say he wants to open up a barber shop. It's like, okay, well, okay, because I know there might be girls out there that's like, oh, I'm not cutting my hair off for nobody. But like, no, my thing is like, if I was like wanting to do some stuff like that, and the girl was like, I don't mind cutting my hair if you need to like cut my hair and things. I'm like, nah, now that's like, nah, like, you done found a good one. Where it's like, they done offered out some stuff that they didn't even need to offer. Like, and they're like, that type of support where it's like, you shouldn't really expect like full on 100% full thought, like throttle support. You should just expect like 50-50. Like, you put up 50, and then, whoever the other person is, they're just putting up like, like, word support, or like patting you on the back, or congratulating you when you done reach some like accomplishment. Like, that's the only form of support that I really crave and look for. But yeah, if they're like, or let's say if it's like me, for an example, it's the YouTube stuff. If I'm not like, I'm gonna pick up YouTube and she gets me like some like fancy camera or something, I'm like, or even if it's a cheap camera, regardless, it's like, I know that's like, that support right there. I know that's like, that's good. Like, that's something I'm like, okay, like, I'm definitely going to marry this woman and stuff. But anyways, but like, I feel like that's like more so talking on when it's in the relationship stage. When it's in like the talking and dating stage, you really shouldn't be expecting a whole lot. It's like, I really don't know you, and you got to understand that it's like people are going to have trust issues where it's like, okay, I really don't want to take this girl out to some like fancy, expensive restaurant because like she might just be trying to get a free meal. You got to understand that in today's like day and age, people are paranoid. People don't trust people. I don't trust people. I trust absolutely no one. When you've had literally every corner and aspect of people across this world then put some sort of hurt in you, it's kind of hard to like have trust towards people. So yeah, that's why I'm like, sorry if it comes off like just not a trusting person, but yeah, I'm not really a trusting person. And I feel like that people should accept that. Like, I'm not overall like telling you like, oh, like, you got pay, I'll pay, but my thing is like, I just don't want to, do something that I'm going to regret, so I've been in situations like that before, and yeah, it ain't good. It ain't good at all. So yeah, that's why I try to tell people, it's like, hey, just whatever you feel comfortable doing, do it. But if you don't feel comfortable, then obviously don't do it. But anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, viewing this on YouTube. Like, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. Make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 34 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. Make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It'll knock $20 off your next purchase. It might work. It might not work. I really don't know. But until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.